Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. I do a painting video every Monday based on a model or a unit of models that's voted on from my viewers from last week's Weekly Wednesday. All my regulars here, guys, I would love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. So what am I painting today? What won the vote? This Forgefiend won the vote. Absolutely insane model. So all I've done is give it a black primer, dry brush the base with some Steel Legion drab. Now I haven't set the wet palette up as such. I've got a heap of colours here. I'm going to quickly run you through what I've got. I've got some Goblin Green, which I'm going to be doing the base colour with. I've got these two for the weapons. I've got some beaten copper, which I may or may not use. I've got some lead belcher base. I've got some white scars. I've got some moot green. I've got some Aphosian camo shade. And I've also got none oil here. So I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. And of course I've got Retributor armor ready to go. The first thing I'm going to do is get some Goblin Green on the wet palette. Yeah, it's a very old paint, as you see, and start working the paneling. Now, some people are going to say, "Oh, you're painting Nurgle colours. Is Nurgle?" No. I will try and do one or two of each colours of the Chaos Gods, but I haven't looked at the new Chaos Codex, which dropped 2 days ago on Saturday. I haven't looked at can they have a mark or can't they have a mark or any of their business. But for me, if I'm playing an army that is Nurgle-esque, you know, like Death Guard, you know, Nurglings, Plague Bearers, all that sort of stuff, everything Nurgle, whatever the scenario is, then I could field this one if I'm painting in Nurgle-esque colours, because then it fits in nicely. Or if I'm playing a game against someone, they say, right, I'm going to shoot the green one, or I'm going to shoot the red one, or I'm going to shoot the, you know, it just makes things a bit simpler. And instead of us doing silly things, it looks nice. Because in all honesty, I could paint the gold trim. There's no flesh, paint the fleshy parts, and then just put a bit of silver on there and paint his weapon and say he's done. I could do that, but that's not the way I like doing things. So I'm going to get some Goblin Green on the wet palette and come back to you then. Right, so I've got a starter brush. So I'm literally going to get some Goblin Green and go into all of these little gaps between the paneling. It's going to be an absolute nightmare because it's going to take such a long time. Now I could have gone with a dark green, in all honesty, but I don't. I'm thinking of doing the light green and then doing the gold trim and then washing it all down. That's what I'm thinking. This is going to be an absolute. It's not difficult. It's just very time consuming. But if I do the, instead of just doing the green then washing it, if I do the green then do, I might actually have to switch brushes actually. So if I do the green then do the gold, then shade it all down, it should be nice. I don't particularly want to give it a second coat of the green, of this Goblin Green. I'd rather just try and get a nice good coat first time round. Right, so as you can see, it's starting to look nice. I'm going to go off camera and just finish the rest of it off. And there we are so far. Now the only thing is, on the hoof there, I might have to just do the hoof the same as Goblin Green. But as you can see, it looks absolutely fantastic, ready for absolutely amazing for a wash down. The next thing for me to do is probably go through with the base base colour lead belcher, yeah, and just pick out, start with things I know I'm going to paint silver, like the copper piping, the piping in the back, the spikes on his back, the spikes on his head here. I know that his teeth on the front of the model and on the gun arms, I know that's going to be silver. There's some mechanical leg works down here, again that's going to be silver. Just pick out those simple things, then just take a step back and have a look and say, okay, is there anything else, or am I going to go to copper for this and copper for that, and you know, and then start picking out the gold. But I would start with the silver first. So you get some on the wet palette, and then come back and start. Right, so I actually did defeat at the bottom, just, you know, just because. Now I've got some silver on the palette. I'm going to just give this a once over with some silver. Now the idea is that if I do come over with a different colour afterwards, I can then actually just you have a silver baseline on there, rather than just a flat colour or silver undercoat on it, sorry, rather than just a flat base colour. Most I'm going to get done with that. So what I'm going to do is come along and do all of these bits on top, and the teeth need good going, good doing. All of these spikes on top are going to be nice, good going over. I'm going to go off camera and do all the silver work, and then come back. I mean, it's going to be annoying doing the gold trim. I can already see that. You see how much gold trim there is everywhere. But I'm going to go off and do the silver work, and I'll come back to you in a second. Right, and here we have, I've actually got some Screaming Skull just in the vent parts, on his neck and on the gun itself. Yeah, just and in these little vent parts here. Now I do have some beaten copper on the wet palette, and I'm going to go for some beaten copper. I think like around here I was going to break that up. There's a few bits on the gun like here, just to break it up a little bit, and obviously these exhaust pipes. There's a couple of leg panels here on the back of him as well. I'm going to break them up. So I'll start with the leg panel there, just to give it a nice break up. This panel on the back here. Just breaks it up a little bit. So I'm going to crack on with the rest of that. I'll come back to you in a second. So here we are. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Painting the gold trim was an absolute nightmare. I didn't do the shoulder blades. I just left them as they are, the leg blades. But the gold trim is an absolute nightmare. So what I'm going to do now is, I've got some rack hard flesh, and I've got some dwarf flesh. I'm going to give the fleshy parts a bit of dwarf flesh first of all. Okay, The fleshy parts, all like these parts here, look, behind here. There are a few bits mingled in here with the metallic stuff. And then once I give it the dwarf flesh, I'll come back to you then and show you it then. I don't know if you can hear me because the rain's absolutely hammering down there outside. Today's actually Tuesday now. I had to stop yesterday when I was painting because I had such a migraine and I didn't feel great and I just felt really rough, so I stopped, went over and had a 5 hours sleep. I felt a lot better when I got up, so I didn't have time then to finish off, so I'm going to be finishing off now. Hopefully this goes up early Tuesday morning today. I've done the dry cut, the dwarf flesh, one of the meaty areas. The rain's actually hammering down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of this Tausalar blue, and that's going to go into the guns, into the gun bits. Okay, to give me like a plasma type of effect. And the reason I'm going with the blue is so then the blue will contrast the green and the gold and everything else and really stand out more, make it pop. One bit I missed is the teeth around here, the gums on the mouth. So do that with the dwarven flesh. But I'm going to do those two bits and I'll come back to you. So here we are. Let's wait for that to dry. So what I'm going to do is none oil time. I'm going to none oil the whole model except for the skulls on the side of the gun, the weapons and the shoulder and the leg pads, because I just left them black. I also done the eye with the blue, both sides, and the chest piece as well. See how that looks, just really stands out. If you're on the battlefield and that is standing in front of you, that's really going to draw your attention, that blue, contrasting against the green. Anyway, I'm going to none oil this, and I will then have to wait for it to dry, and I'll come back to you then. Right, so that is battle ready. You could go into the battlefield with that and there wouldn't be any sort of issues, but I'm going to do a few more things and take it to the next level. So if all you want is battle ready, we have it there. Yeah, there's still a little bit of, just in there, it's still a little bit wet, the shade, but we're not going to worry about that because we're going with some Lothern blue, and I'm going for a dry brush of Lothern blue onto the weaponry. Hear that rain really hammering down. It stopped for a couple of minutes down. I said, right, let me carry on filming, and as soon as I start filming, it starts pissing down rain again. It's always the way. I'm going to get the underneath parts as well. They're not a big issue because you're not going to see them unless you pick the model up. Let's open my own. A little touch up in the middle there. As I did contrast paint that over the silver to make it stand out a little bit more. Now, I forgot to paint this guy silver on this eye, but I did contrast paint it blue, which is a mess up on my behalf. Again, that's yesterday when I was not feeling it great and I wasn't able to find it difficult to concentrate. So I rectify it just with a little bit of dark blue in the middle. Make it really stand out. That's how it should be. That's how the eye should look. It's difficult to get a focus right in this model because it's trying to focus on the head over here and not the bit up right here. Let's get this section of the eye. See how that stands right out now. Let's give it a little touch up here and there because there's a layer of paint, so it will dull itself down a little bit. Even with the moot green now, see, I was thinking about moot green and just warming it down on the wet palette and just do it, say, in the panel here, but don't go up to the edge. So you've got the dark goblin green coming through, but then just a little bit of just a moot green just wiggled in there. Yeah, but I mean, you could do that, it's not a problem, but for me, looking at this the way it is, I prefer the green here. I mean, you comment below and let me know what you think, but I do prefer the green the way it is. I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute because I need to get some white scars on the wet palette, and if I go off and check that, let's have a look at the flesh. The flesh looks amazing. That's just at Wolverine flesh with the washed down non-oil. Now I was thinking of doing rock hard flesh over the top. Just I might give it a little dry brush here and there just to, don't know yet. Let's see how, give it a minute, let me think about it and see how we get on afterwards. So now I've got some white scars white, and I'm just going to dry brush that in the middle. It has watered itself down on the wet palette for some bizarre reason, so it's not very good. But this is all we need, something like this. Little dash in the middle, just so it will go on bright and dull itself down, like I said. It's a lovely little layer of paint. A little dab in the middle there. Give the skulls a quick once over. It's come out very, very wet for some reason. Right, here's, I'm actually not going to do the skin, rock hard flesh. I think it looks fine the way it is. So he is done. Again, apologies that he didn't go up on Monday. It's actually going up on Tuesday. Because I was trying to get done. I was just so sick. I just couldn't concentrate, and so I had to step away. But, you know, it's done. Thank you guys for voting on him, because he's actually been, apart from the gold trim, which is a pain in the backside, It's actually been a joy to paint. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, it's helped you in any way, please like and subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to bring you down and show you some pretty pictures now, guys. So take it easy, but we'll stay for the pretty pictures.